Imagine going to the police for help, only to receive a text message from a senior investigator that simply says, "I will kill you." This is not a mafia movie. This is the horrifying reality of what just broke at the Madlanga Commission. For years, the untouchables at the highest levels of our law enforcement have operated in the shadows, but today their entire empire of fear came crashing down. In the video package I'm about to roll, you are going to see 3 different witnesses drop absolute bombs on the leadership of IDAC. First, you will watch retired Hawks Colonel Cobus Roelofse, Kobe himself, step into the box and come in guns blazing. He delivers a lethal, devastating testimony, absolutely mopping the floor with IDAC head Andrea Johnson and General Feroz Khan. He exposes exactly how they allegedly hijacked police dockets, weaponized the media to squeeze whistleblowers, and used encrypted apps to defeat the ends of justice. But do not look away, because the cover-up gets even darker. Witness O steps up next to reveal how Andrea Johnson allegedly tried to wipe the evidence, ordering her to delete suspicious emails linking back to General Khan. Then, the ultimate institutional betrayal. Witness N exposes IDAC senior investigator Sunil Belochan for allegedly running a pure extortion racket, demanding protection fees, assaulting citizens, and sending those chilling death threats. The highest levels of IDAC are collapsing. These are not investigators. These are allegations of a state-sanctioned cartel wearing badges. If you are furious, and if you want this corrupt unit disbanded and thrown into maximum security today, flood the comments right now with "send them to CMAX." Slam that like button, subscribe to Patriotic Mzansi News, and share this link everywhere before they try to scrub this from the internet.
My wife told me to speak up. So,
you better obey then.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue. Paragraph 3, I think.
Paragraph 3 of my statement. The purpose of this statement is to inform the Commission of a matter regarding events in 2018 reported to Captain McLean and me in 2022 involving Advocate Andrea Johnson and Major General Khan, Feroz Khan. Commissioners, for context, maybe I should just refer to our investigation in 2020 against, in terms of crime intelligence, and the conduct that we experienced at the time, which included the using of the media to put pressure on us when we investigated this matter from crime intelligence. Major General Khan has played a huge role in that. In fact, I have a witness that's still in the program who testified or who has provided me with an affidavit regarding General Dramat at the time, where he was a witness to a conversation where General Khan was also, to place a media report regarding the rendition to get rid of General Dramat, so that, because we were reporting to him directly at the time. So that media report was then placed, and there was a lot of fallout in respect of that. But that is what they are capable of, and that is what they are doing. So I expect no less now than what we went through. That's only one incident that I'm now informing this commission of. There were various other incidents of the same thing in 2011. We have informed the police management at the time of this. I've given so many briefings to police management regarding crime intelligence and the things that they were getting up to. But nothing was done. In fact, we were just, firstly it was covertly, they tried to stop us covertly, but it later on just became overtly. So between the police and the NPA, we struggled about 15 years, 12 years to get a crime intelligence matter on the roll, because of all the interference that we experienced. And I testified to this in the Mokoro Commission as well as the Zondo Commission relating to these incidents. We could have stopped this in 2012 or 2011 if the police had listened to what we were saying to them. Sorry, Commissioner, there was just a little bit context in terms of what we have been experiencing. And the other end was Andrea. She did not immediately recognize the voice, but it was a female voice on General Khan's phone. Paragraph 6. According to the Colonel, the female caller requested her personal email address and she complied. The Colonel told us that the female caller told her that she would send her email, an email, and the contents of the email must be given to General Khan, and thereafter the Colonel must delete the email. Shortly after the call, the Colonel received an email from a Gmail address bearing the name Andrea Johnson at...
Colonel, you don't have to read, just start with the subject header.
The subject header of the email was Petlek complaint. The email had photo attachments and an audio file. The email contained photographs of the A1 statement of Brigadier Petlek, at the time a crime intelligence officer, in a criminal complaint by her against General Khan for assault common and intimidation, as well as a J88 report, medical report, and an audio recording of General Khan taken at the time of the alleged incident. The alleged incident took place on 26 June 2018, and the A1 was commissioned on the same day at Silverton Police Station, and a case opened under Silverton case number 42206/2018. The email from Andrea Johnson Gmail address to the Colonel's private email address was a forwarded email originating from Barry Bateman, who at the time was a senior journalist. This is a screenshot or a photo that I took of, I think it's Mr. Bateman's phone, with the request by Advocate Johnson to go to Signal.
The request from Advocate Johnson to Mr. Bateman on the 5th of September.
That is correct. That's correct, Commissioners. I can also inform the Commission that on various occasions, Advocate Johnson was not only stating to me but to the office as well, you need to use Signal because WhatsApp is not as secure as you think, and she prefers to use Signal because it's much more secure. So I presume that's the reason why he was asked to go to Signal.
And this was the call on the 5th of September, which you knew about already when Advocate Johnson approached you on the 7th of September.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Okay.
In paragraph 12 of your statement, you seem to be suggesting that what Advocate Johnson did amounts to interference with investigation and defeating the ends of justice. What is it about her conduct constitutes, according to you, interference with investigation and defeating the ends of justice?
Well, there's Commissioners, there's more than two issues, but the ones that comes to mind is the fact that she would warn a suspect before the time of, and provide the statement before that person is entitled to the statement, the suspect is entitled. And as a prosecutor, she must know that. The second thing is calling the witnesses and calling me in and calling Bateman. That to me is another huge red flag because she is, as far as I'm concerned, an implicated person. She did not deny that she was duped by Khan. She did not say that had I known this was the issue. So that never happened. So as far as I'm concerned, when I was in there and that happened, that is why I'm saying this, that it was done deliberately. There's more than two things. It's also the effect of a call from someone of her stature to a witness saying to him, I'm giving you a heads up, the Hawks is going to come and talk to you. That to me is also not on. And then the second thing is to imply you don't have anything to worry about. You know, it's sort of trying to comfort the guy. But why make the call in the first place? Because you're telling him, actually, you know, you've got something to worry about. So make sure that you say the right thing. That is my inference from the situation itself. Because we don't do things like this when we investigate matters. As an investigating officer, I don't do things like this. So I expect more from a prosecutor when it comes to this kind of action.
In the office, she told me that she had been called by Advocate Betoy's office, who informed her of the Colonel's affidavit and the allegations against Advocate Johnson contained therein. Advocate Johnson told me the name of the Colonel who deposed to the affidavit. I found it extremely concerning that Advocate Betoy would have told Advocate Johnson about a protected disclosure implicating her, Advocate Johnson, in wrongdoing. I also thought that perhaps Advocate Johnson was able to figure out the identity of the Colonel without Advocate Betoy informing her thereof. But then Advocate Johnson to continue to reveal that she knew the Colonel's affidavit was commissioned by Colonel Wittendal, and she relayed information contained in the Colonel's affidavit. She then told me that she read the Colonel's affidavit and that she denied any wrongdoing. Paragraph 15. She also informed me that she spoke to Mr. Bateman before meeting with me and told Mr. Bateman not to worry. She also said that she understood the reason I approached General Labia. By this I understood Advocate Johnson to mean that given that the allegations implicate her, she understood why I did not deal with the incident within IDAC, but instead went to the head of the DPSI. Paragraph 16. When Advocate Johnson approached me on the 7th of September 2022, I already knew that she had spoken to Bateman. I can just say here that I didn't tell her that I knew that she'd spoken to Bateman. Because Mr. Leek told me that Bateman had informed Mr. Gerenel of the conversation between him, Bateman, and Advocate Johnson. Mr. Leek did not give me the details of what was discussed between Mr. Bateman and Advocate Johnson. I do not recall the exact date when he would have informed me.
There are initials next to, I suppose, verifying or confirming the strikeout. Does any of that scribbling belong to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We can go back to your statement.
Sometime later, the same day, I think, or a day later, General Khan gave the white envelope with the contents of Advocate Johnson's email back to me. I kept the envelope, and as stated above, I did not delete Advocate Johnson's email. I do not have one specific reason for keeping the envelope and not deleting the email. The request just seemed suspicious, especially because Advocate Johnson asked for my personal email address and sent the email from her personal email address and asked me to delete the email thereafter. I kept the information and thought that if there was ever an investigation into the assault matter, that perhaps this would be relevant. But Brigadier Petley resigned sometime in 2020 and nothing became of the assault case. I was very fearful to volunteer information, especially given the environment at Crime Intelligence at the time. I was also aware that Advocate Johnson's husband, Colonel Junaid Johnson, worked at Crime Intelligence, and him and General Khan had worked closely together. A disclosure of this nature may have been detrimental to me. However, when Advocate Johnson was appointed the head of IDAC in early 2022, I started thinking about this incident again, and it troubled me all over again. At the time, members of the Hawks were placed at IDAC to investigate matters at Crime Intelligence. I approached them on condition that my identity would be protected. I informed them of the incident and that I prepared a statement setting out my recollection. I did so in August 2022. At the time of the incident, I held the rank of a captain.
Okay, the next topic is the incident on 4 July 2018. Please proceed.
On 4 July 2018, I was working in my office when Major General Khan, who was attending a meeting in the main boardroom, entered my office on the ground floor near the boardroom and handed me his cell phone and requested me to give my personal email address to the person he was speaking to on the cell phone. He said the person's name is Andrea. On the other end of General Khan's phone was a female. The conversation was brief and I could not immediately place the voice of the female caller. The female caller asked for my private email address and told me that I should give the contents of the email to General Khan. I gave her my email address. She told me that once I have given the contents of the email to General Khan, I must delete the email. I thought it was strange and a strange request, but I obliged. At 12:46, I received the email from an email address with the name Andrea Johnson.
You don't have to read it into the record, the email address. And then could I just ask you, you say that the female caller asked you to give the contents of the email to General Khan. Did she say how you should do that? In other words, must it be, should you email it? Should you print it? How would General Khan get the contents of the email?
I cannot recall now the exact words or exactly what she said, but I printed the email and gave it to him. I placed it in a white envelope.
Okay.
And what do you mean when you say you obliged?
I gave my personal email address to the caller.
So you didn't have a personal relationship with her?
No, not a personal relationship.
Thank you.
Thank you. So can we then go to paragraph 6 of your statement?
The attachments consisted of 12 JPG photos and 1 audio file. The audio file is available if required. The above-mentioned material has been under my control since I received it on 4 July 2018. I did not delete the email. I realized that the person I had spoken to was Advocate Andrea Johnson, who was a senior prosecutor at the time and is currently head of the Independent Directorate of the National Prosecuting Authority, also known as IDAC.
Sorry, Witness O, can I just ask you, why didn't you delete the email?
Well, I thought the request was strange. Why would you email something and then request to delete it? So I was thinking, I was cautious and I kept it.
When you say you realized that the person you had spoken to was Andrea Johnson, you realized this from the email itself?
From the email, yes. The email or her name appeared on the email.
Okay, thank you.
This witness is a female, adult female, and member of the PKTT team currently deployed in the Eastern Cape to investigate matters relating to the University of Fort Hare. So that's her main assignment, and that's where she has been. During the course of investigations, through an intermediary, she was approached and informed of a complaint from members of the public relating to a specific senior investigator at IDAC in the Eastern Cape. She was approached because of the trust reposed in members of the investigating team in the Fort Hare matter. She took the matter up and investigated and concluded that the concerns expressed warranted further investigations. She registered an inquiry and proceeded with the investigations. Her challenge now becomes, because she is part of a bigger team investigating a much broader issue, the Fort Hare issues, the disclosure of her identity, both physical in terms of her pictures and images, and her name, risks the inadvertent disclosure of her team members in the entire Fort Hare investigation. Their success thus far is based in large part on the fact that they are quote-unquote anonymous, and they are able to access the community, and those who want to provide evidence insofar as Fort Hare is concerned are comfortable to approach them and be seen with them. She, as part of the investigating team, is protected by members of the NIU and TRT, and is always in their company. The disclosure of her face and her identity will by definition extend to the members of her protection team. That would require the PKTT to replace almost the entire team that has been seen in her presence and reconstitute the team for the purposes of the Fort Hare investigations. Her employers expressed serious concerns with that and the unintended impact on the original investigation for which she is tasked, and requested whether her identity could be withheld, but her testimony in no way will it be curtailed by these issues. So the application is that she testify virtually, remotely. Her voice will not be distorted, her name will be withheld, and her images will not be distributed. And that is the application insofar as witness N is concerned, Chair.
Can I invite you to turn to page 2 of your witness statement, and you can continue under the heading of overview, please.
In the course of my work, I am sometimes approached by the members of law enforcement, informers, and members of the public who want to report suspected criminal activity or otherwise disclose potentially unlawful conduct. I would then meet with these individuals, consider the information that they are sharing, and discuss with my superiors what steps I should take in relation to the information that I received. Towards the end of 2025, I received information concerning alleged criminal conduct on the part of Mr. Sunil Belochan, a senior investigator at the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, which is known as IDAC.
Please continue.
The information contained in this statement remains under investigation, and I bring it forward in order to assist the Commission and for the Commission to determine whether it necessitates further direction by the Commission.
Thank you. Yes, please continue to paragraph 7 under the heading engagement with the complainant.
Paragraph 7 reads as follows. In December 2025, I was conducting investigations in the Eastern Cape when I was contacted by Mr. Neil. Mr. Neil was a director in the Department of Community Safety in the Eastern Cape. He was responsible for community police relations and is known to me as we had previously worked together on some criminal matters. Mr. Neil explained in December 2025, an initial meeting was held between Mr. Neil, Mr. Asif Muhammad, members of the Tactical Response Team, and I. At that meeting, Mr. Asif Muhammad informed me that he had been assaulted by his landlord, which is Mr. Sunil Belochan, on the 27th of September 2025. He explained that his landlord was a law enforcement officer and a member of IDAC. He said that during the assault, Mr. Belochan had punched him, leaving him with a bloody nose, loose teeth, and torn clothes. He provided a photograph he had taken of himself, displaying the injuries he said had been caused by the assault. This photograph is attached as X1.
Thank you, Witness N. I'll just place on record that Annexure X1 appears on page 1 of your Annexure bundle. We won't flight that visual, but just for you to confirm that that is the image that was provided to you. Page 1 of your annexures?
Indeed. It is, Commissioners.
And perhaps for completion, can I inquire why in paragraph 10 that initial meeting was attended by members of tactical response team as well?
Commissioners, because I am always accompanied by members of combat, which happened to be the tactical response team on the day.
Thank you, Witness N. You are at paragraph 11 on page 3.
Paragraph 11, Mr. Asif Muhammad explained that on the same day of his assault, he went to the East London police station and laid a criminal charge against Mr. Billerton for assault with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm. He further explained that on the same day, he received a telephone call from someone who said that they are calling from the East London police station. While he was still speaking to that person, Mr. Billerton could be heard shouting that Mr. Asif Muhammad must come back to the police station and that my police will deal with you. That is quoted from what he actually said.
Thank you, Witness N. Please proceed.
Paragraph 13. Mr. Asif Muhammad shared that later that day he received an SMS from Mr. Billerton informing him that a case of fraud in the amount of 400,000 rands had been opened against him by Mr. Billerton. Mr. Asif Muhammad explained to me that he had lived at a property belonging to Mr. Billerton, believing that he would be safe living at a property belonging to a policeman. Instead, he was further subjected to more demands for money and that he witnessed the delivery of suspicious goods to the property, such as televisions, etc. I then cautioned Mr. Asif Muhammad that the information he was providing with regards to an official had to be verified. Upon being presented with this information, I elected to go to the East London police station and asked the branch commander to uplift the dockets. In the usual course, if a member of the public approaches me with such information, I would either advise them to go to the police station and report the crime, or I would commence a preliminary investigation myself. In this case, however, Mr. Asif Muhammad had already laid a complaint, and he informed me that since opening the case in September, he had never been contacted by a member of the SAPS. I then decided to approach the branch commander for the East London police station and explain the situation to him. He gave me permission to uplift the dockets and make copies. I in turn undertook to update the branch commander in the event that my investigation yielded any developments. When I turn over to the paginated 5, I took it upon myself to make further inquiries as the matter involved possible police corruption, which I am empowered to investigate. This gives a member of the public an anonymous route to report information about potentially criminal conduct by a police officer, staff member, or volunteer.
Witness N. Witness N.
Pardon?
When you say in paragraph 19 that you took it upon yourself to make further inquiries, and you say at the end of the sentence, that this is something which you are empowered to investigate. Please expand on that and explain what you mean by empowered to investigate.
When I say empowered to investigate, commissioners, I mean that since I am in the anti-corruption unit, we look into the abuse of entrusted power or authority for personal, financial, or potential gain, and also that corruption undermines the rule of law and erodes public trust in institutions. I am under anti-corruption, and a police officer, so I am empowered to do so.
Okay, please proceed. You are at paragraph 20 on page 5.
I also took steps to verify the information that I received from Mr. Asif In particular, I contacted a law enforcement who I was informed had resided in the same property belonging to Mr. Billiton. I spoke to him in order to seek further information about the property and left my contact details with him. On the 22nd of December 2025, I was contacted by Mr. Billiton via a WhatsApp call and text making me to understand who he was. The WhatsApp texts are attached as X11. You communicated with me using the number.
You don't need to read the number, that's right. Yes, you can continue with the sentence.
Okay. Which is the same number that Mr. Asif Muhammad has registered as Sunil.bro on his phone.
And